Okay, welcome to Adobe Illustrator with Mr. Fogelson. We have our first video with our first lesson in Adobe Illustrator. It's a skill. This first lesson is Intro to Skills and Gestures, as posted in my Google Classroom as an assignment. So we're going to head right into Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to sign in. Now it's really important when you're first getting into Adobe Illustrator that you are able to get in, so that might help. So in the assignment, you'll see that there is an Adobe Illustrator link, or you can go on the bottom of your doc and click on the Adobe Illustrator icon, which should take you to the website. Next thing is when you are signing in, click sign in, and then continue with Google. Make sure you press that continue with Google option. Make sure it's your at anac34.com account. If it doesn't pop up here, you'll probably have to just type it in first. It's your username at anac34.com. That's mine. And then you type in your password. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my password. The secret's safe with me, so I'm not going to tell you my password, obviously. And then you hit next. If it asks you to save the passwords, make sure you press save password. That's important, so that way you don't have to type it in every time. All right. So next thing, this is really important as well. When it says select an account, you're going to want to click company or school account. Super important. Company or school account. Make sure you do that. All right. Going to click on that. Company or school account option. All right. So it gets me to kind of this home screen. I'm going to want to go to the Learn, and it's got a light bulb option. So that's my Learn screen. I'm going to click on that. That's the first thing I'm going to do when I'm in Illustrator. Then I'm going to scroll down with my middle mouse button, and you'll see it says Intro to Skill and Gestures. That's the lesson I'm going to want to start off with, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And it has a nice little video that Adobe has made for me, so I'm going to go ahead and watch it with you guys. And we're going to play it.
If you're watching this video, then you're probably interested in professional graphics like logos, social ads, or maybe flyers. Whatever you need to make, you're in the right place. With Illustrator on the web, you can create all these amazing things and a lot more. Now, suppose you need to create something like that logo, but you need to use it everywhere. With Illustrator, you can create that design just once, then use it anywhere. From something as big as a billboard, or even as small as a business card. And it still looks amazing. Everything you just saw is called vector art, and Illustrator is great at it. This series of lessons is all about giving you what you need to get started with Illustrator on the web. Along the way, you'll help us create an underwater scene. Each lesson starts with a quick video just like this one. In each video, I'll cover the topics you'll explore in that lesson and set you up for success by explaining some key concepts. You then jump into the hands-on lesson. Start at the beginning and go through each lesson so you can build the skills for the next one. Luckily, each lesson is short but fun, and you're going to have plenty of practice. Here's a really quick tip. As you go through these lessons, make sure you click on buttons and hover over tool names with the selection tool. You'll get guidance and tips on where to find things. So let's dive into our underwater scene, and we're going to start with a quick look at just selecting things, zooming, and just getting around.
All right, so we're back in the actual assignment now that the video is over from Adobe. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my selection. I'm in the selection tool. I'm going to bring my selection tool over to the selection tool. And you notice when it says selection tool and it's underlined, you'll see that the selection tool in blue highlights there. I'm just going to hit OK on that. And so it lets me know where the tool is. That's really important. So if you want to hover over the underlined word, make sure that it's in the selection tool, so that way it shows you where it's at. So that way you can find stuff. All right, so in the selection tool in the toolbar on the left, drag the claws onto the crab. Click an empty area to work into area to deselect the artwork. All right, so I'm going to scroll with the middle mouse button on my mouse. And then we're going to go ahead and click and drag the claws on this crab to the spots where they want me to. Okay, that says try moving the other parts. So I'm just going to go ahead and move some of these other parts here. There we go. Move some of these other parts out of the way. All right, here we go. give it a test run here of moving all the parts. All right. And then I'm going to, it's going to be kind of cumbersome to try to put it back and remember where everything goes. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to this undo button. You see at the top here, there's a back arrow that kind of curves. That is the undo button. You can always click undo. The other way to undo is on your keyboard. You press Command and hold Command. That's the CMD. And then hold Command and press Z as in zebra. Command Z. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Command Z. So that's a quick way. I like to do shortcuts because it saves me a lot of time. But you can also just press the button, whatever's easiest for you. There's no wrong way to, do things. As I say, there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's peanut butter cup, as long as you don't have peanut allergies. But just keep in mind that Command Z, or you can press the undo button, is a good way to put things back to where they need to belong. All right. So we finished the crab. Don't get crabby. We got more to do. So let's get rocking and rolling. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead on the middle mouse button. I'm just going to use that scroll wheel and scroll down. All right. So it says click the small crab on the right to select it. Okay. So let's select that. Press Command plus or Control plus. We're going to do Command plus because we're on a Mac several times to zoom in. So I'm going to hit Command plus to zoom in. Okay. And you'll notice that the text gets a lot bigger, and it says "Hello, curious." The crab's kind of talking to you. The nice, I like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and move down by pressing the space bar. So I'm going to hold the space bar, and then I'm going to left click and drag to the anglerfish. Some of you may remember this anglerfish from Finding Nemo, right, where they're trying to read the snorkel goggles to find where Nemo's at. These guys are deep sea divers. All right, so, but I digress. So now it says to zoom out by pressing Command minus. So I'm going to hold CMD minus. Remember, we are in a Mac, so we got to do Command. All right, then I'm just going to go ahead. Now I'm actually going to hold the space bar and left click and drag down just to see kind of where we're going next. All right, so it says some other stuff that we're not going to worry about. You can click the next button, and you can then be like, bam, I'm done. All right, nice. We finished the first lesson. Okay, so great job. What do we do next? So now we're going to need to prove that we did this by uploading it into Google Classroom. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save it. And we're going to save it to the cloud. That's always a good idea, just to make sure that it saves your document into the cloud there, so we have it just in case we lose it. You won't lose it. You'll be happy when you find it, okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to export it. Okay, we're going to export the document so we can bring it into Google Classroom. And we did it's called the intro, right? That's the first one we did. So intro to skills and gestures. So I'm going to uncheck or unclick these other ones and keep intro selected. The format we're going to keep as PNG, but I just want to make you aware that sometimes we'll save as an AI file, not to be confused with artificial intelligence, but it's AI means Adobe Illustrator in this matter, right? So that's, if we need to save it as an AI file, that's because we need to save the layers, we need to save it as and rework it and go back into the file. But for grading purposes, for these skills, we're just going to save it as PNGs for now. I just want to make you aware that AI is out there, but PNG is where we need to be at, okay? So we've got the intro checked. We've got PNG. Then I'm going to go ahead and click Export. Now, this is really important. It's going to default to like your downloads. Please make sure you save it to your desktop. That's super important, okay? So make sure it says where it's at. You got to make sure it's at your desktop, okay? Your desktop's going to be your background. Once you exit full screen, you'll be able to access the file. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's on desktop. I'm going to hit save. All right, and then I'm going to exit at full screen by pressing the green button in the upper left corner of my window. So let's just press that green button. And then I'm just going to go ahead and you'll notice there's two arrows here when I bring the window down. I'm actually just customizing the window size that way. So you'll see that I have the document that I just saved to my desktop. That's the intro. And I've got my window open here. And I'm going to go into my Google Classroom. Really important that we go to the correct assignment. And I'm going to add it to the assignment so I can turn it in and get a grade. All right, so again, make sure you're in the proper class. Make sure you're in the proper assignment. Okay, skill intro to skills and gestures. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus add or create file attachment option. That's super important so that we can attach and upload the proper file for grade. Okay. Next, I'm going to drag and drop my intro file into Google Classroom, and it's going to load up. Just give it a minute, and then click turn in, and then press turn in to make sure that it is in. You must press turn in twice. That lets me know that you turned it in so I can give you a grade right away. All right, we've got it in there, all set and done. That is our first lesson. All right, it is your turn to rock it out. So let's dive right into it.